A detective and a gangster teamed up to drug an innocent woman. It all started with a previous murder case. Detective Kun received news of a new murder in the nearby district. According to the officers at the scene, the victim was found in a crouched position. The victim's partner laid the body flat and covered it with a blanket. Despite warnings not to disturb the scene, the victim's family was too distraught to comply. Over there, a woman sat helplessly by the roadside, recounting the entire murder process. Early this morning, her husband's colleague came to their house. That guy, named Park Junji, came with a knife, intending to kill her husband. The woman called the police and waited for over 30 minutes. By the time the police arrived, her husband was already dead. The police knew that Park Junji had a girlfriend, but surveillance revealed that Park Junji's girlfriend entered a room with another young man. Unsure of the situation, everyone decided to stay put until Park Jun-ki's girlfriend came out of the room. Watching her fiery figure leave, the three then decided to rush in and capture the suspect. The chubby guy pretends to be a downstairs neighbor, claiming that water from the shower upstairs is leaking into his place, and he needs to check it out. But once inside, he realizes the young man isn't Park Junji. The reason he's here isn't what they imagined either. He's here because Park Junji's girlfriend wants to move out, and he's looking to rent the place. After wasting a lot of time with no progress on the case, Brother Kun had to use his personal connections, entering a house cluttered with no place to step, waking up his informant among several sprawled-out men. The informant told Brother Kun that Park Jun-ki is quite well known in the circle and is considered a veteran of a major gang nearby. The key point is that Park Jun-ki's girlfriend, Ahui, was originally a mistress of a certain boss. Somehow, she secretly got together with Park Jun-ki. When the affair was exposed, the boss didn't make things difficult for them. He just set a not-so-harsh condition. As long as Park Jun-ki can pay off Ahui's debt, they can go their separate ways. The unlucky guy who was killed earlier tried to blackmail Ahui with this matter, hoping to profit from it. But he ended up being stabbed to death by Park Jun-ki. In simple terms, this was a case of risking everything for a woman. The female lead, Ahui, may seem down and out now, but a few years ago, she was doing quite well. However, she misappropriated company funds and made poor investments, losing everything and accumulating a huge debt. This led to her current state of being old and having nothing to show for it. After explaining what he knew, the informant also told Brother Kun that President Min of the investment company wanted to meet him. This guy looks pretty unserious and unreliable. Kun guesses he doesn't have any serious business. But to solve the case, he decides to follow and see what he's up to. The detective never had a good attitude towards gang members, so he went straight over. I wonder what good words this old guy can say. Calmly, he squatted down and took a puff. But as soon as President Min spoke, things got tricky. He said that the Park Jun-ki incident had a terrible impact and could affect the investment company's business. He hoped Brother Kun would do him a favor by framing the murder as a personal feud between Park Jun-ki and the victim. Of course, if Brother Kun could also do him a favor during the arrest and find a way to cripple Park Jun-ki, the big boss behind the scenes wouldn't mind providing some financial support. Ahui may seem old and worn out, but she exudes an intriguing charm. After a subtle interaction, Brother Kun had an idea. He began to secretly follow Ahui, looking for opportunities. After seeing her leave, he used illegal means to sneak into her room and search for suspicious evidence. After searching for a long time without any results, an elder suddenly called him over. Usually no one visits, but now someone shows up. It's obvious what he's here for. As soon as the senior speaks, it's about the investment company. The senior showed Brother Kun away. When capturing, just make a hole in Park Junji's leg, and the task is done. Money won't be an issue after it's done.
그러다 선배님이 옷을 벗으신 거 아닙니까?
The senior told Brother Kun that the scariest thing about being a detective isn't the danger during missions. Brother Kun understood and interrupted, saying the only fear is that in the end, you can't tell if you're on the side of justice or corruption. Seeing that Kun is determined not to take the bribe, the senior tries to play the emotional card. He says he always helps Kun clean up messes, treating him like his own child. Moreover, he has already given Kun's bank account number to the others. How Kun proceeds is up to him. The senior has left, and Kun is once again in a dilemma. He wonders why it's so hard to be an honest detective. Solving cases should be straightforward, so why must it involve personal interests? Koen continues to follow Ah-hui. This woman looks ordinary while buying groceries, but there's something unusual about her. While Ah-hui was not at home, Brother Koen secretly installed a bug. He then stayed outside the door, keeping a close watch. Even the trash thrown out was carefully inspected to ensure nothing was missed. After several days of nothing happening, they finally heard good news. Park Joon-gi had returned. The sound of absence makes the heart grow fonder, made Brother Koen blush. He only dared to continue eating after lowering the volume. Since Park Joon-gi is back, he obviously needs to load his gun and aim for a decisive shot. When he entered the room with the gun, the two were completely off guard. He saw two naked bodies lying on the bed. Koen-ji gestured with the gun, making him put on his clothes and come out. The whole process didn't alarm Ah-hui. However, Koen didn't forget the elder's instructions and hinted for Park Joon-gi to jump from there. But the guy didn't even get a scratch, let alone break a leg. By the time Koen got downstairs to finish him off, he had already escaped. Koen bets that the old guy hasn't gone far. The car is still here, so he couldn't have run away. Luckily, I was cautious earlier, or I would have fallen into his trap. However, the force of the fight still shocked Koen. This guy truly lives up to his notorious reputation. Not only is he ruthless, but he also has the audacity to strangle Koen to death. After finally breaking free from the restraints, they still managed to escape openly. This time, it's truly embarrassing. The next day, Brother Koen immediately went to the suburbs to find President Min. The old guy's face turned dark as soon as he saw Brother Koen. Last time, the big boss of the investment company asked him to transfer $5 million to Brother Koen, but he only sent $480,000. This was a blatant slap in the face. But Brother Koen didn't want to hear any excuses. He just wanted to know where Park Joon-gi was. Just last night, he had a fight with Park Joon-gi. Today, he specifically came to say he didn't see him, just to mess with the old man again. Koen threw the 480,000 yuan in President Min's face. Things went smoothly, and we quickly found a man with a mustache.
나는 눈처럼 깨끗하니까 조사해.
In the underworld, who dares to claim they are innocent. Koen casually mentioned Park Joon-gi's name. Seeing this guy's reaction, it's clear they know each other.
지은재가 눈처럼 깨끗해졌어?
This guy with the mustache served 8 years for murder. After getting out, he kept insisting that he had paid for all his sins.
다 갚았다 그러디?
No one has the right to forgive on behalf of the deceased. Little Mustache had no choice. At Brother Koen's request, he arranged a new identity for him. Posing as the bar's manager, he introduced himself to Ah-hui. My name is Kim Ha-young. Nice to meet you.
영준이는 준길이 친구야.
Koen pretended to be a thug to avoid arousing Ah-hui's suspicion. To get closer to her, he found an opportunity in the evening to dine at the same restaurant as her and thoughtfully poured her some soju.
준길이는 어떻게 된 겁니까?
왜 그렇게 준기 씨한테 관심?
서로 배짱이 맞아서.
However, Ah-hui immediately saw through Koen's lie. The Park Joon-gi he knows would never form a brotherhood with anyone. In Park Joon-gi's view, whenever two brothers are together, betrayal is inevitable. Koen had to change his approach, saying he had a matter between men to settle with Park Joon-gi. Ah-hui then gave him 2 words: get lost.
했거든?
Scars don't mean much. Everyone in the underworld has them. Ah-hui still insists she can't reach Park Joon-gi. The first encounter didn't go well, but Brother Koen isn't upset. It's too good to be true if everything goes smoothly from the start. After dinner, he continued to stay by Ah-hui's side, trying to start various conversations. Finally, Ah-hui couldn't hold back and asked Brother Koen what he actually does. Today is our first meeting, but you haven't told a single truth. Brother Koen still didn't miss any chance to monitor. Late at night, he deliberately drove near Ah-hui's house, saying he was picking her up for work at the bar. Seeing Ah-hui refuse, he immediately used his trump card. I heard someone saw Joon-gi a few days ago. Brother Koen got this information from an informant. They say Park Joon-gi seems to have gambled away all his money and might come back to find Ah-hui. Where did you hear about Joon-gi?
여기저기서.
After getting off the car, Ah-hui asked Brother Koen for money. In reality, he snatched the wallet and took the opportunity to check the ID. Fortunately, Koen had prepared well and had a fake ID ready. However, tonight's shift won't be easy. Ah-hui's first customer turned out to be President Min.
살았는데도 가끔씩 네가 그립단다. 나 같으면 있잖아.
Ah-hui owes money to their company's big boss, so he doesn't dare to resist no matter what he says. Even if there's harassment, you have to grit your teeth and endure it. In this line of work, we sell smiles. People often think it pays well, but the hardships are hard to describe. Facing difficulties is just a part of daily life. Every day, a lot of time is spent on beauty treatments and hairstyling. After getting all dolled up, she looks for opportunities to make various calls. Hello, President Kim. This is Ah Hui. How have you been? I'm no longer working there. I'm in Songnam now. This call isn't about business. Ah Hui is going to collect a debt. After learning the purpose, Brother Koen directly asked if Park Joon-ki was short of money. That's why Ah Hui was in a hurry to collect the debt. Unfortunately, there was silence all the way. Koen carried a big jar into the other person's office. Ah Hui leaned suggestively against the desk as soon as she arrived.
값 재촉하러 왔다고 얼굴에 다 쓰여 있는데 뭐. 아이고, 내 그놈의 돈이 없네.
The young boss held Ah Hui's hand and said they should hang out again when they have time. But Ah Hui insisted that he repay the 5 million debt before discussing anything else. When they disagreed, Koen-go wanted to smash the jar. But Ah Hui didn't want to escalate the situation and firmly held down the small boss. Without uttering any threats, he just demanded the money back.
내일 넣어줄게.
Call me now. Ah Hui starts to feel that this man seems interesting. He didn't even mind sharing a cigarette with him. Koen felt things were going well. When he dropped Ah Hui downstairs, he offered to go up for a glass of water. Do you think our relationship has become very close? Ah Hui went upstairs without a hint of hesitation. After leaving, Koen circled back and continued to lurk in the parking lot, keeping watch. Anyway, he had planted a bug in the house, so he could listen to anything he wanted. Another day passed, and Ah Hui's life remained chaotic, yet colorful. However, she couldn't stop thinking about Brother Koen because she hadn't seen him. She even called him whenever she had a moment, asking where he had gone. At this moment, Brother Koen is staking out another location. The police discovered an underground casino where Park Joon-ki has been active recently. However, they waited until the end of the event today, but Park Joon-ki never showed up. This guy must be out of money. His colleagues joke that if Park Joon-ji runs out of money, he would definitely sell Ah Hui to get money for gambling. Brother Koen didn't respond, and his face grew darker. It seemed he couldn't bear to hear anyone speak ill of Ah Hui. He wasn't even sure if he had started to develop feelings for her. Moreover, when Ah Hui went to repay part of the debt that day, President Min's various provocative actions made Brother Koen very uncomfortable. But even President Min noticed something was off. A detective falling for a suspect's family member is never a good thing. So, President Min and the chubby detective called Ah Hui in for a talk. Do you think the chairman knows you're showing off in front of me? Ah Hui indeed has the right to be confident. She owes money to the big boss behind the scenes, not to President Min. Unexpectedly, President Min slapped her. Then the fat detective wanted to use a drug. It's a drug that, once applied, makes people feel euphoric. Meanwhile, Koen had already noticed from the surveillance that they entered the same hotel. He immediately called the chubby detective.
불법 납치 감금입니다. 만약에 최음제까지 가져갔으면 성폭행이.
After seeing the chubby detective take Ah Hui to the police station, Brother Koen immediately forced the drugs into President Min's mouth. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. When Ah Hui was released from the police station, a mysterious person followed her, hinting for her to turn into a small alley. And this person turned out to be the long-missing Park Joon-ji. I'm fine. Park Joon-ki told Ah Hui that a gang in Shanghai wants to recruit him and is already arranging passport details. You'll come with me, right? Seeing Ah Hui nod in agreement, Park Joon-ki asked her to help prepare 30 million for their escape. Ah Hui was in a dilemma, but had to agree. She really didn't know if this man could be trusted. In the end, she couldn't help but ask one more question. Is the news about Shanghai true? After the farewell kiss, an endless emptiness followed. Ah Hui didn't turn on the light, and just sat there alone, feeling so stressed that she started chewing ice. Don't turn on the light. Staying like this won't do. Koen saw that a bottle of wine was almost empty and wanted to take her out for a break, but Ah Hui refused to go. Coincidentally, Koen's ex-wife called at that moment. He quickly brushed her off and hung up, which piqued Ah Hui's interest. Leaning on the sofa, she asked Brother Koen if it was a woman calling. Was it your ex-wife? Do you still meet after the divorce? Then why not get back together? A wave of jealousy filled the air. Ah Hui looked at Brother Koen with a more seductive gaze, asking him to forget about work for a while and join her for a drink to have some fun. Then, in a seemingly playful manner, she tells Brother Koen not to worry about her and to quickly go find his ex-wife. Brother Koen left dejectedly after being rebuffed, while Ah Hui was almost unconscious from drinking. She even forgot to let the guest pay the bill. Seeing her so drunk, the guest sarcastically remarked that she shouldn't drink so much at her age. Who was that kid who just insulted me? Which troublemaker was it? If my colleague hadn't held me back, I would have fought with a customer in the store. By the time he stumbled downstairs reeking of alcohol, it was already dawn. But then he saw Brother Koen sitting on the steps. Ah Hui had no particular thoughts and just wanted to greet him casually and send him away. But somehow, a strange idea popped up. Did you have a fight with your ex-wife? How about we have a drink early? This is the first time Koen has come to Ah Hui's house by invitation. Drunk people don't care about manners, but today Ahui looks especially alluring in Kuen's eyes. Ahui, emboldened, starts to make a move. Finally, in a moment of passion, something almost happened that shouldn't have. But Ahui suddenly said that she saw Park Joon-ki today. That guy even asked her to help borrow money. This news instantly sobered Brother Kuen. Ahui doesn't know what Park Joon-ki plans to do with 30 million, nor does she know how she can gather that much money. But I am confident. After running away, I can live like a normal person. Unexpectedly, Kuen said he could lend her money. This isn't romantic, but it's deadly enough. Ahui took off Brother Kuen's clothes and touched the scars on his body. They were almost all from missions. But to the unaware Ahui, they seem to have a different meaning. The wounds on your body are bad memories, right? Bad memories. Ahui finally has tears in her eyes. Something indescribable happened with Brother Kuen. Before leaving, Brother Kuen thoughtfully left Ahui with the earrings she had already pawned. When Ahui found out that Brother Kuen was going out to make a call, she looked jealous again. Is it a secret call? Don't go. I'll make you something delicious. Kuen struggled for a long time and finally called the senior. He has made up his mind to borrow money from the investment company.
잘 돼가고 있냐?
Also, break one of Park Joon-ki's legs for them. Ahui acted like a real housewife, cooking delicious meals for him at home. She also asked Brother Kuen what he thought of the house. I mean, I'm about to move out with Joonji. I didn't expect Ahui to still be thinking about Park Joonji. Brother Kuen really doesn't know what to say. Maybe Ahui's presence gave him courage. Finally, he mustered the courage to ask Ahui to give the money to Park Joon-ki. Just stay and live with me. You're a liar, aren't you? Maybe I'm the real liar. Brother Kuen never understood why Ahui was so devoted. But later, he still handed an envelope to Ahui. Wanting to live with me was a lie, right? The truth and lies. Even Brother Kuen couldn't tell them apart. Since the transaction is complete, there's nothing more to discuss. Ahui got out of the car and left. Brother Kuen didn't try to stop her, and everything ended there. Ahui then got into Park Joon-ji's car. The path to escape is never smooth. Gang members and a chubby detective go on a car-smashing spree. Park Joon-ji initially pretends to be weak, then suddenly pulls out a knife and starts stabbing wildly. Kuen, who had been inactive, couldn't sit still any longer. Just as Park Joon-ji was about to deal a heavy blow to the chubby detective, a dark gun barrel pointed at his head. With emotions outweighing reason, I finally pulled the trigger I had always wanted to pull. Is it abusing power for personal gain? Maybe. A mortal body is just flesh and blood. One bullet is enough to send him to the afterlife. Ahui, trembling, pushed open the car door. She could hardly believe it. The man who had just died was planning to escape with her moments ago. She wanted to say something to Brother Kuen, but was immediately taken away from the scene. Only the pearl earring was left behind.
정재훈이 고생.
All along, Ahui thought Brother Kuen was just a gang member. I never imagined that one day I would be sitting across from him, being interrogated. If things could end here, that relationship was just an unspeakable entanglement in Kuen's life. But during a subsequent operation, Kuen witnessed another heartbreaking scene. I'm just dating. Why are you arresting me? This pervert is suspected of intentional injury. The girl's teeth were all knocked out. Kuen even found burn scars from cigarette butts on her arm. This reminded him of a woman he hadn't seen in a long time. So that night, I went to President Min again, hoping to find out Ahui's whereabouts. He thought Ahui could stay on the right path, but he saw her injecting someone with a liquid. It turns out that Ahui's current life is even worse than before. She now makes a living by injecting drugs for addicts. Brother Kuen can't bear to see the woman he once loved fall so low.
나 서울 용산서 정재.
In less than 3 minutes, Brother Kuen had already stormed in with his men, capturing both the drug dealers and the addicts. He believed he was saving Ahui from the darkness. But if he truly is the savior, why doesn't he dare to face his true feelings and confront Ahui's murderous gaze? Kuen nervously defends himself.
난 내 일을 한 거지 널 배신한 게 아니야.
Ahui just called him a bad boy. What else can she say? Caught red-handed. Even if Officer Kuen arrests her now, it would be justified. Words are powerless. Emotional, Ahui suddenly grabbed a knife from the kitchen and ran out. Kuen didn't say a word. He just waved his hand to let his colleagues at the police station leave first. Ahui instantly collapsed to the ground, unsure if she regretted her impulsive action. If there's a debt, this strike should settle it. But can such a complex entanglement really be resolved with one strike? In the end, Kuen Ge felt relieved and limped away from Ahui. There was still snow on the roadside, and the new year was approaching. Kuan-ge silently hoped that Ahui could enjoy a peaceful life in the coming year. The story comes to an abrupt end during this downturn. A bittersweet life unfolds in a dark and oppressive atmosphere, slowly developing the emotion. The two main characters, a man and a woman, do not have the traditional cop and robber relationship. From surveillance to manipulation, from a crush to deep feelings, the intertwined emotions are complex and hard to untangle. He once used illegal drugs on suspects to solve cases, but when his colleagues wanted to use the same method on her, he threatened to arrest them for violence. He even poured the entire bottle of medicine into the thug's mouth to vent his frustration. He wasn't sure if she knew it was him who made the emergency call. He couldn't fully accept her feelings, often wavering between his duty and his emotions. In terms of identity, he is a cop and she is a criminal, though not a typical one. Cops and robbers are natural enemies. Love should never exist between them. But when did he truly fall for her? Maybe it was when he saw her back while she was cooking, giving him a sense of home. Or perhaps it was even earlier, in the moment they shared a cigarette. She truly fell in love with him after seeing the earrings redeemed. Everyone approached her for one of two reasons: to investigate a case or for physical business. Only he noticed her missing earring and quietly redeemed it, placing it by her pillow. Unfortunately, the story ends without a conclusion. Yet, for both of them, it's the best possible ending. The deeper the love between the cop and the criminal, the deeper the hurt. The transformation is natural, and the technique is perfect. Winning the Baeksang Arts Award for Best Actress with this film is truly well-deserved.